Hey there everybody, this is Lori. Just wanted to come on and do a quick video as an update to in response to the last couple of videos that I've posted the last couple of days. As you had seen in the one that I did yesterday, I was feeling really rough, just not myself at all. I had next to no energy and was suffering from nausea and just overall feeling like crap. Well, I woke up this morning just as I expected, and that seemed to have worked its way through. So the symptoms from the Humira and the methotrexate this week, even though they were horrible, seem to have surpassed. So that's good. The unfortunate thing is tomorrow I do another methotrexate injection, but hopefully it will go a little easier. From what I have seen, I mean, I will have kind of a rough week every couple, at least once a month, I guess. I'll have a rough week, and where I'll be kind of almost bedridden. And I'm not sure if this is the norm, or I haven't really, I should have, but I haven't mentioned it to my rheumatologist, and that's definitely something that is not cool. I should definitely mention that to her. But yeah, like I say, doing much better. I had mentioned a few times that I was going to come on and talk about how the progression of the disease has, the journey that it's taken me on thus far. So I want to take a few moments today and do that while I'm feeling up to it. As I said, I was diagnosed in 1979 at the age of 2 years old with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis. Now I am Canadian, grew up in Alberta, and in a smaller town in Alberta, so I went to Edmonton for most of my, for all of my treatment over the years. And so yeah, at the age of 2, my parents noticed that I had lumps forming on my wrists, and of course didn't know what that was from, so they took me to my pediatrician, and he said we better run some blood work, and at which time they did, and discovered that there was the rheumatoid factor was elevated. So from there I went on to a rheumatologist and began treatment, and early treatment was entrophen is my earliest memory of the drug that I was on, and cortisone shots injections into the wrists to try and get rid of the what they thought at the time was synovial fluid around the synovial whatever, and yeah, have later come to find that it is not that. One doctor thought, oh, it's a ganglion. No, that's not it at all. It's actually inflammation around the tendon sheath, is what my rheumatologist now says. And I do have that on both hands, and also had lumps on my feet, on the corners of my ankles as well. So, and then I think the next place so it went from my hands, of course. With rheumatoid arthritis, everything is symmetrical, so both hands were affected. And then it went to my feet and began in the ankles, and then moved to the toes and the joints and the toes. I do not remember a time when my feet were not deviated as they are now. They have always, to my memory, been deviated. Obviously they weren't. This was something that happened later on, but that is, like I say, I don't remember a time when they weren't. One little thing to note that I was quite interested in finding out when I was younger is that individuals who are diagnosed with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis have inward deviation. So as you can see, my hands turn in quite a bit. Fingers, everything goes that way, turns inwards. With juvenile, that is what happens, and with adult onset, things turn out. So my feet, same thing, they turn in like that. Now I'm gonna try and lay in some pictures of my feet. I suppose I could show you. Please excuse my hand there on the camera. I am going to, I don't know if I can flip the camera here or not. Let me see. No, it looks like I can't while I'm in video, so, but I will try and in life. Like I said, those pictures of my feet so that you can see them as well. So it went from wrists, ankles, toes, and then both knees were affected. At the age of 7 years old, I began having issues with my vision, and one of my teachers realized that I wasn't seeing the chalkboard the way that I should, so it was, simple. They thought, oh, Laurie needs glasses. Not abnormal, whatever. But then I started mentioning to my mom that I was seeing black dots in my eyes. And, of course, right away they thought, oh no, that could be diabetes. Well, what it ended up being was iritis. I think it's also known as chronic uveitis. I'm not sure if those are two separate things. I have to Google that. My ophthalmologist always refers to it as chronic uveitis. So from that moment on, I was put on medication, anti-inflammatory drops, and steroid drops to control the inflammation in my eye. Please, I will put a link down below to explain what chronic uveitis and iritis is to you as well. So yeah, I was put on anti-inflammatories and steroid drops to control the inflammation, because inflammation in the eyes, of course, is not good. It's in the posterior of my eyes where the inflammation is. So I have some retinal damage that has occurred as a result. I don't know if I mentioned this in another video before. As a result, I basically have my night vision, forget about it. My pupils no longer dilate, and that is from the long-term effects of the steroids. It's affected the ability for my eye to dilate as it should when I go from dark to light. So yeah, night vision, I cannot see in the dark. I'm blind. Just thinking about what else I need to discuss. Yes, the night vision, and so from there, it gets a little murky because I was young. But from that point on, I was then diagnosed with cataracts, which were caused from the medication that I was on, which they knew might happen. In conjunction with the cataracts came glaucoma, and I had glaucoma, acute angular glaucoma, which is the closing of the opening in your eye, which the fluid flows through. Again, I'm not a doctor, so my terminology on this, I'm breaking it down into layman's terms. The fluid in my eyes, the channel that it flows through would close. It would become very, very small and non-existent. So, which would build up the pressure in my eye, and I believe it was in the back of my eye, which was extremely, extremely dangerous and painful. I remember getting headaches, the worst headache I've ever had in my life. To this day, I've never had a headache that bad. So I was rushed to Edmonton, which was 3 hours from where I lived, and my ophthalmologist would use a laser, and they would blast the hole again back in that channel, in that hole. Sorry, they would blast out whatever had built up in there that caused the closure. They would use the laser and take care of that, open it back up, and it was almost instant relief as far as the headache went. So from that moment on, that was about the age of, I think I was in grade 4 when that happened the first time. So whatever age, I guess that would be like, 10 or 11. And that happened 3 times in my right eye and twice in my left. And it caused partial blindness in my right eye as well. So I was put in the hospital a couple of times for that and treated. I was also given steroid injections into the eye to try and help with inflammation. Back at that time, they believed in allowing the cataract to ripen still, so where it could be seen on the lens. And the doctor went in and manually removed my lens from my eye, and he left the lens out because he explained that that would all happen again. So, yeah, he left the lens out. And from that moment on, really, my eyes became quite stable. No issues. I've had, flares, of course, still in my eyes that have caused a little bit more damage in the left eye over time, but it's controlled with prednisolone. And I also, when I'm in a flare, will take Cosopt and use Maxidex eye ointment. So I think that pretty much covers the eyes, and I see this video is looking at about 10 minutes, 40 seconds, so it's getting pretty long. I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to show you my feet. I've decided I'll just do a completely different video on my feet, and we'll go from there. All right? If you have any questions, post them below. Okay? Have a great day.